necessary. And I like this move by Lin. He's just moving in. I imagine he is... Ooh, actually something aggroing the creeps here. I think Lin might have missed Micro to Raider. Ooh, Fire Lord third for ThomasG. That's a really interesting choice. All those summons are going to be really nice against those Raiders. And it's obviously without the Blade Master, there isn't the massive DPS that you normally have to worry about, and so you can actually afford to get things like 475 hit point heroes. And looks like Lin actually getting one of his raiders surrounded there, and the Tinker pretty low now. Probably should pop a speed goal just to get out of there a bit quicker. And I imagine dots will be coming up pretty soon. Yeah, another dot coming out now. I imagine they're master trained as well. And looks like Lin, actually forgetting about one raider, does have the armor upgrade though. That's really nice there, but for him. Obviously the armor upgrade is a really awesome for Orc, and it looks like Lin actually moving straight back in, but gonna be speech going out eventually, just waiting for his raiders to pick that off now. But a breath of fire coming in to pick off that one raider, and it looks like Lin is gonna have to get right out of here very quickly. He probably popped that speech goal a bit earlier than he should have, but I think he decided eventually just to stay in this battle and try and take out that one Moonwell. And meanwhile, Lin does definitely to go back and heal now, and we have actually now seen a tech switch to Spirit Lodge, and actually a lot of low raiders here by Lin. I think really nicely played here, just because Lin's been harassing all game. Actually, Lin going for one Wind Rider as well. That's really interesting. He probably should just use it to attack Wisp, because at this point, all of ThomasG's army is basically anti-Wind Rider, so I'm not sure that's the best choice. And actually one dot going into bird form now to chase down that Wind Rider, but I think one-on-one the Wind Rider probably should win, but assuming there's no orb. But I don't think, yeah, there isn't any orb at the moment. The Demon Hunter really should pick one up, because they are pretty awesome items, but the Ancient of Wonders is still rebuilding. I think this is like the 4th incarnation of that Ancient of Wonders. And one Wind Rider here, obviously just trying to hide at this point, because he has been fairy fired, so actually trying to stick away. And looks like another dot was brought into bird form. Really good decision there. No bats, unfortunately, for Lin, and so ThomasG can just pick that off quite happily, and that's really a sort of 4 food down the drain. But look at all these raiders. I imagine, yeah, we have one Spirit Walker here with adept training, and a second one, no second one being constructed now. No gold for Lin. I'm a bit surprised by that. Fortunately, pillage will certainly help out with that, and a nice the ogre mauler here, just so useful against those raiders as well. And one dot still in bird form, unfortunately. Ancient of Wonders having to be rebuilt again. Such nice harassment here by Lin, just constantly staying on top of ThomasG, not letting Lin get the items he needs, because obviously and the Night Elf Orb, just so powerful. Nice healing scroll there by Lin, and look at Lin just microing so well, just keeping all his low units alive. He might go to a whole bunch back before, and he'll probably do it again, just because this is Lin, it is on LAN, and he does just have that excellent micro anyways. And there's one low raider there going straight back, and that panda does fall, but against sort of 8 raiders or whatever it is here, it's really not surprising that you can get ensnare surrounds. And ThomasG really not in a good position here, and that's pretty unfortunate for him, considering it's basically just a level 4 Tinker versus what is it, 2-1 heroes for him. I think if he had maybe some hero levels, that might help him a bit, but I think at this point it really comes down to units, and if he just had some more dots, which he is actually getting out now, that might do wonders for him. And another cancel of that Ancient of Wonders, and I think ThomasG should just build it maybe somewhere a bit less expected, maybe somewhere here or somewhere where it's just a bit harder for Lin to find and cancel just before it goes up, because you just lose a whole bunch of resources and you don't get your healing potion or your poison orb or anything like that. And looks like that Tinker won't be putting down any more factories for a while, but actually ThomasG doing a good job here of holding off all those units. But I think I can see on the mini-map all the low raiders that have just been brought back to the base. I'll take a look in a second as soon as Lin is completely chased out of here. And actually, oh, it looks like Lin's been surrounded here. Very bad for him. Is forced to pop his TP. And let's take a quick look. Yes, look at that. Wow. Oh, that's just so impressive by Lin. He is just sort of a god amongst men. Lin really gonna have trouble healing them all up, I think, just because you can only buy 2 salves, and actually once he brings in these units as well, he might not be able to heal everything up, which is a bit unfortunate. But this bee is going crazy. I hope you can't hear it. Massive. It's like the size of my fist. Tinker probably gonna go maybe by a heal scroll or an invuln pop. Both would probably be quite nice, and actually so would an expansion for Lin at this point. I think that would be something where Lin just has a decent advantage at this point, and if he really wanted to consolidate it, I think that his best choice would just be to go for a expansion at this point, and we'll have to see exactly how Lin decides to play this, because obviously as an Asian player, they generally are less aggressive in terms of, or sorry, they're generally much more aggressive, I beg your pardon, in how they play. So as an example, if you were to take Lin and Grubby, for example, and they were both in the same sort of dominant position, I think Grubby would be much more likely to expand, and that's just part of sort of the European play style that you do generally see. It is a stereotype, but I think it is a pretty valid one. I think I think Lin would be a lot more likely to sort of try and push his advantages immediately and try and attack before sort of his opponent got the expansion back up, or sorry, got his advantage back, just from rebuilding his units or whatever it happens to be. And actually Lin going for an expansion now after saying that he's a bit of a cautious or a bit of an aggressive player, taking a bit of a more cautious move. I guess he just wants to be very secure in his win here, and by putting an expansion, especially in this really far away position, that could do it for him. Although if ThomasG counter expands, who knows what could happen. Obviously 3 heroes versus 1 hero, there's only a point to which sort of the slightly higher hero level will help your 1 hero, and then eventually you'll start to feel the burn. But level 5 now on that Tinker, and using a Clarity, so even with 1 mana burn he will be able to put down at least 1 Pocket Factory, and those Pocket Factories, if rallied to those dots, will just do a whole bunch of damage when they explode. And let's take a quick look. Actually, it looks like we're going to have 3-3, is it 3-3-3 for ThomasG? I'm actually really impressed if that's what he's managed to get. Yeah, 3-3-3, that's really nice for him. That's it. Ooh, very nice items actually. Look at this, +6 intelligence, and then less good, the Ring of Regeneration, but certainly it's alright considering his Panda's currently hurting quite bad. And it looks like Lin's splitting his army. Maybe he's going to go for some hit and run. Maybe he's going to try and attack with one bit these raiders, and then while ThomasG is chasing them down, he'll run in his other raiders and Spirit Walkers, try and take down a couple Moonwalls, but actually really bad position on this Pocket Factory here, within range of the Ancient of Wind and the Ancient of Wonders, so that'll get taken down really quickly. And we'll have to see what Lin is doing. Lin just keeping his units here, still only 1 upgrade, and actually bringing in 1 peon as well. I wonder if is he going to put up a tower maybe. That'd be pretty awesome. Is he? If he was at tier 3, those towers would be pretty effective. But and actually he could have got a faster expansion as well. Maybe Lin's gonna go for a second expansion. That would be awesome. Just you could just totally out macro ThomasG, and it looks like ThomasG really knows he needs to play defensive, because he knows Lin is right about, and if he gets caught in a creep jack, then it's definitely game over now for him. And what's the buying a healing potion. I'm not sure that's the best item. I like the mana potion on that Panda, especially in conjunction with +9 intelligence, because you can just drop those items and get a whole bunch extra mana. And actually, yeah, Lin is going for a second expansion. Really gutsy move there by him, and now moving into do a bit of base raiding as well. And as I said, I'm sure he has pillage. Let's take a quick look. Yes, Lin does have pillage, and invisible Tinker coming in here. I think he was just hoping to get a bit of scouting off, because obviously he wants the Blade Master basically, but in Tinker form that'll be fine. I'm surprised he didn't buy a Boots of Speed for it, but I guess he just has been buying Scrolls of Speed, because he's been doing so much harassment, and he has always had a TP on him as well, because he's always had a bit of gold sitting around, because he's microed so well he doesn't need to rebuild all of his raiders. And a much better position here of this Pocket Factory, and we'll just see it do a whole bunch of damage now. And Lin looks like he's going to be moving in with these Clockwork Goblins just to take out Moonwalls, hopefully at least. Actually getting surrounded here. This is, actually no, ThomasG not quite managing to hold it, and Speed Scroll being used there, but not quite fast enough to get him out of this battle. And he does still have a Scroll of Town portal if he needs it, but it looks like it does look like he will need it. And then meanwhile, I think he's just running his units around. He really doesn't want them to be caught without the Tinker, and so he's going to run that Tinker straight back in after getting his Clarity back up though. And really nice play here by Lin. He's just been so aggressive, and considering it's such an unusual hero, I'm not sure, maybe he's been practicing this against Moon and Soccer, or maybe he just thought, well, sort of Team Korea is going to destroy Team Europe. He can afford to play a bit blasé, a bit sort of a fun game. And 2 raiders getting cycloned here. 1-2 upgrades now for Lin, really pumping out those upgrades now that he has his first expansion up with a couple towers as well. Forgetting to rally those peons, but not the end of the world. And another Pocket Factory going down here. And it looks like Lin will lose at least 2 raiders here. Nice pre-surrounds here by ThomasG. Or will mean that he does get those couple kills at least, and will put Lin maybe on a bit of a worse position. But I think ThomasG really needs to hit the expansions right now. He's just so dedicated to being defensive, which sort of you can understand, but at the same time I think it's just he needs to go against his instinct at this point and maybe go for an attack. And meanwhile, one Agent of War actually here looks like he's just trying to pick a fight, but no one's stupid enough to go around that. And Lynn's just splitting his army this whole game. Really interesting play, because you don't generally see that in this way from Orc, because generally you have sort of your second hero with your army and your Blade Master around to actually have one druid of the town scouting it, probably looking for expansions, but immediately just gets ensnared and killed quite quickly. Bad luck for ThomasG there. And I think still 3-3-3 for ThomasG, which is actually pretty impressive considering it's 3-3-3 versus 5, and a pretty low 5 as well. But if we do see level 6, that'll be pretty awesome. I love level 6 Tinker. It is basically just a transformer, and just so much fun to play with. It's a bit odd with Orc, because often you can bring in Wisps to repair it, and obviously bringing in Peons is a lot different than bringing in Wisps, and so we'll